Also, I just turned in, we have Joshua Morgan, Washington, D.C.'s own wide receiver, man. Ended up being the 2012 season leader.
Whoop, whoop. Check you out.
Leading wide receiver.
Check you out.
Hey, so Josh, you just had surgery on your right ankle on both of your hands. How's your recovery going so far, bro?
The recovery going good. They be having me in there rehab. They just did two procedures on my hands where they basically gave me shots and basically the lower ligaments. I had torn ligaments in both hands, so they just gave me the shots. Man, basically let the medicine do the work. So, all the swelling and all the pain finally left that. So it's feeling good, and I'm up there every day rehabbing, working now, trying to get back to how I really play football. So I'm just excited about all that.
So your first year playing with the Washington Redskins, how has your success been so far? Because you're from Washington, D.C., and I know it has to be a good feeling playing for your hometown football team.
Oh, yeah, it's a great feeling, man. It's a lot of pride. I look up in the stands all the time and see some of the same faces I've been seeing since I was in high school, since I was in college. I see some of the same coaches that have been coaching me. It's a great feeling to be able to look in the stands or look across outside the stadium or pull up to the stadium, man. Had the memories like, man, it's home. 4-year-old memories, 5-year-old memories. My grandmother used to live right around the corner from the stadium. My father lived right up the street from the stadium. Growing up, I used to live right up the street from RFK. It's a lot of pride that come into it, man. So, I think that's the only thing that, helped me have the type of season I had with all the injuries I had. Just all the pride that came into it.
What are some of the hardest lessons you've learned as an NFL player?
The hardest lesson as an NFL player? See, man, my whole life I always try to please everybody, and I always been a nice guy. So honestly and truly, it may sound crazy, but the hardest thing I had to do was start telling people no. That was the hardest thing I had to do, whether it was my family, whether, it was my brother, well, basically that's family, but, regardless of who it was, I just had to start telling people no, because people start trying to take my kindness for weakness. And, even people that I grew up with since elementary school, first, second grade, I got to this level and they start asking me questions and talking crazy like we ain't never talked before, and I try to keep my circle tight. I try to stick with the same people that I was in elementary school with, and I was in middle school with, and I was in high school. I keep my friends and my circle tight. And when they started talking crazy, I was just like, oh, man. I ain't know what to do, I think I saw it in the movie where they say money don't really change you, it change the people around you. Cause, and I had to learn that the hard way, man. People start acting crazy. People start acting out. Coaches start asking me for newer trucks, to buy them newer trucks than I had myself.
What?
So, so much that going on, I just had to start learning how to say no.
Okay, let me paint this picture for you. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so we know that you used to play for the 49ers. Now, your first game in the stadium, you put your jersey on, you in there, like you just ready. What is going through your mind as you're about to, put your feet on that turf and put it down as a Washington Redskin?
Man, honestly, I thought about that I wish, my grandfather and all my friends that I lost along the way, all my friends that I've been having watching me, I just wish they would have been there to see it. And I know they was in having watching me, but that was the first thing I thought about because, I lost both of my grandfathers before they even saw me pick up a basketball or football. And, I remember everything growing up. My father, my homework in elementary school, my homework was to watch the Redskins game from that Sunday before. So, I do that with my father, my grandfather. He was a photographer, so I just wish he would have been there to take that picture of me running onto that field. That was the first thing I thought about. It was full of emotion, full of adrenaline, and I was just out there to seek and destroy, try to get in that end zone.
That's mad love. At the end of the day, you gotta make sure you do it for them. They're watching you.
They probably was going off up there too. Right. Going off, yeah, Josh, yeah.
Hey, so Josh, off the field, you're involved a lot. Like, a lot of people don't know that you were a nominee for the NFL Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, and a lot of people don't know that this is an honor on players who have gone above their way, like for the communities and through charity work. So let some of the people, some of the things that you're involved in, because football, you're just not just involved in football. You're involved in more besides that.
Yeah, well, basically, I made it my business, you know, when they brought me home, ever since college, ever since I was at Virginia Tech, I always try to do stuff in the community with the kids to help the kids or whatnot, and, you know, just make whatever community I was in a better place. So when I got the call and they come out to the Redskins, I didn't even go speak to Coach Shanahan before I went to speak to the community relations person. I went right to her and I just told her, man, I was like, look, I've been doing this. I just got this thing with it. It's just not, I feel like, you know, it's in me to just give back to these kids and try to help the people and try to put these kids in a situation that I never got. Because, you know, that's the main reason I do it. Nobody ever did it for me. Nobody ever did it for my brothers. Nobody ever did it for, you know, my best friend that's in heaven right now and probably could have saved his life. Or, you know, nobody ever did it for us. So I figured, if God will keep blessing me, then I'm going to bless everybody else with the blessings he blessing me with. So, I mean, when I went into her and told her that, you know, she basically looked up, she called the people on the 49ers. They told her, man, look, this guy didn't miss a Tuesday, which was the NFL All Day. He never missed a Tuesday. Everything we asked him to do, he the first one to offer. He the first one to do it. The kids love him. Everybody love him. He was the spokesman for Live United for the 49ers. So she told her, and then next thing you know, I ended up doing it for home. And I mean, nothing feels better than doing it for home for the same reasons I said. Like, these some of the same schools I went to. These kids living the same life I lived. You know, these kids come from nothing, come from nothing at all. Like, these kids going home with their parents, and their parents, you know, working every day just to make it or just to still be broke, you know, like my parents was, you know, like, it's just a crazy situation, you know, and that's why I try to make it my business, especially being back in, because not only every Tuesday on the season, which is our off day, but to do as much as I can every week if I can, or 2 or 3 times a week if I can.
Yeah, I know that's right. Yes, you better reach out in the community.
Can I get a retweet?
Can I get a retweet? Go ahead and retweet that. Go ahead and retweet that. Being a new member on the team, I know it has to be hard. Did any of your teammates try to play, like, jokes on you or anything, or they try, you know, try to wow you out just because you was new?
Nah, they kind of already knew better, you know. They didn't really fill me out, you know, because even though I was new, this is my 5th year in the league, so it's really, you know, nothing you could do with it. They saw I was kind of a jokester and a prankster too, so I think they kind of were scared because they really know my limits, you know. They know how far I go to get them back if they try something. But, you know, the only thing I always got was, oh, you from here, so you ain't going to hang with us because you already got your family, you already got your little circle. You know, they always gave me that little, you know, trash talk or whatever. Honestly, I wasn't worried about it. You know, they didn't really do too much.
You said you went to Virginia Tech?
Yeah.
What did you study there?
I was business management and real estate.
Where did you want to pursue with that?
I wanted to own a couple of businesses, make my own business, probably make some type of shoe business or clothing business. And I wanted to just buy a lot of property and fix it up, sell it. Fix it up, sell it, maybe put a couple of restaurants, a couple of places. I definitely want to do a shoe store. I got to do something with shoes.
I mean, but you might as well go ahead and make your shoe store because, you know, I love sneakers. So you might as well go ahead, put it over there by Iverson Mall, you know. Put it over there by Iverson Mall because it's close so I can just, because I need that.
You put it somewhere on Bowie. Why you got to put it by
Okay, well, you can put it, all right, how about this? Where the Landover Mall used to be, just go ahead and buy that and go ahead and put like...
That sounds good.
Go ahead and buy that. Put like 5 shoe stores in there and a chicken spot, and
Hey, so my last question, bro. What music are you currently bumping to right around the city? I know you got to be bumping to some of the hottest, latest artists out here right now.
Oh yeah, I'm always stay on. I keep, I keep all his new stuff. I keep J. Cole new stuff. I keep Meek Mill. That was like
Yeah,
that was like the joke of the team. Even some of my coaches, they was like, man, you like the Meek Mill football and all this. And I was like, no, that was their little joke. They used to call me Meek Mill. So I never understood it, but that was their little joke. But I keep some Meek Mill, P.I. I like everybody. I love music.
You gotta roll with the beat.
But y'all ain't say Red Essence, though. Y'all ain't say Northeast Groovers, though. Y'all ain't say Northeast Groovers, though.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Anything from 2008 on, I can't do it.
You had to at least listen to a TCB song here and there for us.
Oh, yeah, I got TCB be doing their thing, but it's when they go to that old school version. When they try to be on
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, so Josh Morgan, we appreciate you calling in
taking the time for the LesBake Show. You gotta go ahead and spread the word. For the
yeah, I definitely got you.
Hey, so we hope you have a good season, bro. We will be watching you.
Keep
Make sure you
doing
hook us up with some tickets for.
Oh my God! Look! He just said he had time telling people no.
See, look, you had
a hard time telling people no.
Oh, nah, I got y'all. Just make sure y'all remind me. Just y'all two, though.
Bet. You already
know. The day before the game.
All right. Keep doing your thing in the community. Keep setting an example and being a role model. Like, it's a lot of football players who are out here. People don't understand what you do. We are so glad we had the opportunity to let everybody know that you're more than football. You're out here actually doing positive stuff in the community. Like, we behind you 110%, bruh.
115. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we appreciate it, bro.
All right, thank y'all.
Be blessed. Okay, so we just had Sunny in the City.
Word.
And then we